Okay, we are going to talk about the AUA model of English speaking curriculum in Japanese senior high school environment. These activities, the speaking test, are held at the end of the year 12 and a part of the test to assess students' English proficiency, and also an important factor for schools in making summative decision for moving to the next step. First, consequences. Assessment. Telling about their high school life and future through an interviews. Intended consequences. For example, students can improve their speaking skills. Students who pass a grade are prepared for instruction at the next level. Students who do not pass a grade will benefit from getting additional guidance from the teacher. Other possible consequences. The teacher will reflect on the strengths and weakness pattern of methods of students' performance. This will impact on better performances and the later teaching. The partner of speaking activities will improve their listening skills and logical, critical thinking. Students grow confidence through their learning processes. This will grow students' motivation for learning English as well. They're just examples, so teachers need to prepare in advance. Second, decision. Intended decision. There are two types of decision, summative decision and formative decision. Summative decision is to check students' English speaking abilities for the next step from senior high school to university. The school need to make a decision from total score of English test, including other three English skills, reading, writing, and listening. Formative decision. Through the interview, teachers give some feedback to students about their performance with a rubric. For pair works, students can use simpler check sheets to check each other. So let's have a look at the detail about summative decision and formative decision. So summative decision, which is high stakes, the final result of English speaking performance will determine whether the student pass or not to the next stage. So teacher will make the decision at the end of the year. Formative decision, which is low stakes, provides students with feedback using rubric after the interview test. So teachers will make the decision immediately after the assessment. Third, interpretation about students' language ability. Teachers check the videos and assess students' performance from four different aspects: content, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation, which I mentioned before for summative decision and formative decision. The interpretations are meaningful for the contents of the course and also for the future teaching method. They are generalizable to the current language class and are fair to all the students. Fourth, assessment record. Checking their videos and assessing their performance using rubric. The kinds of assessment records: description, scores, grades, or marks. Based on the rubric, teachers add up the points which are related to summative decision. Let's have a look at the rubric for teachers. On the table on the left, we can see the contents, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, which all related to the speaking skills. And teachers ask question and students answer the question. And depends on the student's performance, the teacher choose the point from 0 to 3. And also on the right side, teacher can make a comments. And on the top right, teacher add up the point and write the total scores.
Okay, it's my turn to get started with the fifth student's performance. We divided into two parts. First part is that interview with pair in class time, and they need to make pairs and do practice use the check sheet. And then for the second part is the interview from the teacher, and the student need to answer the question face to face, and also the whole program must be recorded. So some students may prefer to like be fluent about their explaining or communication with their peers, but when they fix to the teacher, they may just feel like stuck and not very good about their explaining and feel nervous. That could be the most possible for the students' performance. Next, we can find the students' pair check sheet here. For the left parts, we see that the students' names and the 4 questions, to ask them. And for the right part, we see that the partner's name and also the blank for the answers, they will be answered for the students. Then we go to the assessment task. First, the main idea about this is that taking an interview about the school life, okay, also for the before and the future. And we start with the predictor. First, students have a pair work. When people ask questions with a checking sheet and other answers the questions. After the practice, the students give feedback with the sheet. Next class, the students take a face-to-face interview with the teacher in the small room. The teacher listens to students' response, check in rubric. The interview is recorded by the video for assessment and gives students feedback with a rubric. And about the question part, well, we mentioned before is that what is the most impressive things event in high school life? How did you manage to overcome something? What did you want to do in the future or before, like these kinds? And for the score part, just before that. Yeah, for the school part, during the interview, the teacher fill out the rubric, and also after the interviewer, the teacher will ask up the score and writes a comment for the feedback for every students. That part could be more effective for that. For the task characteristics, the setting will start with the physical correction tense. First is that the teacher in front of the class and student need to make pairs. Next to the class is that the students need and teachers need in one room, in a small room, and student take an interview one by one. For the material here, the student need to get to the script and the assessment sheet. Teacher also need to take the assessment sheet and one iPad for recording. Yeah. For the participants here is that students all from the year 12 and 20 people in one room. It's been like a small class size, I thought. The time for the task will be required for two periods for that. And the input part, we start with form, and the arrow is that the teacher need to describe for the task. The student need to practice with the script and answer the question. For the verum, the students need to write the words on the script. Then the language, basically in English, but the teacher need to describe for the task, and the student need to answer the question, which the teacher, like interviewer, ask. For the topical comment, is the memory of the senior high school, and describe their future. For the extent response, start with form is oral, because students need to talk about them, senior high school life and future. Yeah, it's all depend on speaking. The verum is more like the words, phrases, and sentence, which a student will write on their script. The language here is also English, and some students may need some help for the standing in the native language. Then the teacher, they may need to give them support for that. And topical content is also have the same, just the memory of the senior high school life and describe their future. So start with the strength here, because it was the classroom activities. So we have 4 points here. First is great opportunity to take about themselves in English. Next is the listeners can improve the listening ability. Third is students can practice and modify the script before the interviewer. Fourth is the great opportunity to collaborate with other students in classroom. And for the interviewer with teacher part, the teacher assessing the students' speaking and the communication skills individually. The teacher in person and timely feedback are convenient compared with other noise environment. And they don't need to worry about the noise because they can check the video later. And at the same time, students can collective logical thinking ability and enhance their understanding of English culture. For the weak points, for the classroom pair works here, we found the students are set in the relation in time arrangement, could be affect their language output and leading into the insufficient quality of teaching and the language. Furthermore, the differences in the students' oral proficiency may lead to the inconsistent evaluations and the standards for teacher. Simply provide the feedback and the evaluations on oral communication may not easily help students understand their teacher's evaluation is good or bad for them. That could be low effective for the teaching part. So for the interview with the teacher, a student may be nervous because the recording and also the closed space with the teacher one by one. Also, the evaluation depends on the quality of the rubric. If the rubric was not very good, maybe this activity would not be successful. And then we went to the suggestions here. We found three aspects for students. Before the interviewer, the teacher, they need to check the check sheet and to get her pair works so that they can have the time to take practice and also have the confidence to when they face to the teacher. And for teachers, they need to explain the rubric in advance so that students can prepare the script in advance. In case students can get nervous, the teacher need to help them with the follow-up questions. It is important to make students relax and do their best to explain. For students, for school, the school needs to strengthen the support of speaking scores, such as the main trained speaking opportunities and installing the corresponding equipment. The course time could be expanded to according to the direction of the English speaking classes, or divided into the split time slots of the teachers to teach with. And that was the reference for the whole PowerPoint we used. Is a 6 reference here. And from this research, we found so many strengths or weakness. Maybe these things was difficult to deal with the mode of AUA. Because of this, we may have chance and have time to modify them in the future. Thanks for the listening and watching.